somewhere in space. This may all be happening right now.
Where is Padme?
It seems in your anger, you killed her.
And welcome to the Pop Culture Hour. I'm one of your hosts, Johnny, and joining me today is everyone. We have the amazing Emily Lind.
Hello.
And Mr. Michael Pavis.
How are you guys?
Mike, how are you?
I'm good.
Fresh from quote unquote Arizona.
Isn't it funny that like the one place I visited had the biggest COVID outbreak in the country?
Did you bring it with you?
It's like nice. It's just like Celebration Orlando in 2017, where I brought the Star Wars virus to everybody and all of our friends. It's the same thing basically happened. It's crazy.
So I had some people reach out to me. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Actually, Arizona was like really fruitful for me, if you will.
What step are you on?
What's that?
What step are you on?
Oh no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm still drinking. I'm fine. Why? I'm good.
Did you didn't hear my rehab joke?
Yeah. No, I did. Yeah. I forgot about that, but yeah, I'm on fucking step 13, man.
Yeah.
Always. Fuck the odd numbers. I don't
That's
care.
when you're ready to go back to one.
Pretty much, yeah. I go back to one every day, but I'm functional, so life is good. My wife doesn't hate me. Actually, I made her happy. We went out to dinner with masks on, which was weird earlier today. But yeah, my vacation was cool. I went to Sedona and visited the vortexes, which is like these, if you will, like these force chambers where you can really feel your spirituality in the red rocks of Sedona. It was pretty cool.
All right. And how about you, Emily? How are you this past week and a half, 2 weeks?
It's been a little weird. This is because New York is now in phase 2 of reopening as of this week. So I was back in the office, and that was strange after 3 months.
Yeah. I can imagine. I can imagine.
Getting on the subway again, and like it's just
scary.
I mean, not scary, just weird. Luckily, like our boss has us working like instead of like 9 to 5, we're doing 9:30 to 5:30, so it's like avoiding the most crowded time.
How is it on the subway?
It's okay. Like it's been pretty empty. And what I noticed because we're in a big building that has a ton of offices in it, and yeah, offices can go back to work, but at least in our place, like most people seem to still be working from home. Like we're one of the few places in our building that are like everybody's back in the office.
So your building's open?
Yeah.
Like the actual building? That's really interesting because our building, I wouldn't mind 1 or 2 days going into the office, but like our building is closed. So we don't have a doorman and like the doors are locked. So even if we wanted to go, yeah, it's like really odd. I think we're still trying to figure phase 2 out as a community in a city.
Yeah, like it's definitely like, like masks are required to enter, even the lobby of the building, and they can't have more than 4 people in the elevator at a time, and they have like a separate like off the lobby of our building there's an entrance to a retail space that used to be a Starbucks and is currently empty, so they're using that as like a dedicated exit. So like the main entrance is entrance only, and then like you have this exit only just to keep the traffic flow like down.
And you're in Herald Square, right? Which is like really busy.
Yeah, but
So
I mean, not that busy right
about
now. I mean, there's definitely still people, but it's not like it would normally be.
Yeah, weird.
And there's a lot of retail spaces that are still closed and all boarded up. And that's really weird to see, because that, along Herald Square, that's a lot of like retail, like, like their main locations, like their flagship stores. And so it's weird to go by and have them be closed.
Is Macy's open?
Macy's is open. I don't know who is going there, because I mean Macy's always like, mostly Macy's is tourists. So I don't know like in terms of like how much business they're doing, but they are open.
It's crazy, man. I haven't been to the city in 4 months. It's the longest since I was 17 years old. So I'm on a trip right now. We all say it every day, like the Twilight Zone and stuff, but it's just weird, dude. Being in the biggest city in our country and just living on the outskirts and not even going near it, It's so odd.
Yeah, it was weird to be back there for the first time. Also, it sucks to have a commute again, because, man, working from home, like I'd wake up 5 minutes before I needed to log on and just grab my laptop in bed.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably better mentally for me to have like the separation of I'm going to work now and I'm coming home now. But I did get used to that over the past 3 months.
I used to enjoy just the morning 10 o'clock meetings with like a cup of coffee, and I would always have like a Star Wars mug or a Marvel mug or Batman mug, and people would always comment on it. And we had a meeting 3 times a week, so I tried to have a different mug every day. And I eventually had to repeat mugs, but people were like, I had a nice run going, like 13 or 14 meetings in a row, like of Marvel mugs and Star Wars and DC, and I'm definitely like a mug fanatic, and I'm pretty disappointed. Although I have a Thanos mug with the 6 Infinity Stones, right? And then, but now because of the dishwasher, there's only 2 Infinity Stones left.
You gotta hand wash that stuff, Johnny.
I know,
dude,
but I forget or I'm lazy. But it's okay, because I just say like, oh, this is the beginning of Infinity War when he had 2 stones.
That's right.
So that's
go.
all. But I have to rebuy that for myself, because that was my favorite mug. And then I have a mug where it's like a Chewbacca mug, and it's got like a little cord on the handle. So
yeah, I know that one too.
Yeah.
I remember when you got the Thanos mug after Endgame. It was like a big deal. Johnny was like so excited.
I'm telling you, man, Thanos was right. Thanos was correct. Especially now. Who could fucking argue with Thanos right now? Like, wipe half this universe out and let's start over. I'm kidding. There's parts of that. If we can pick the half, then I'm right. But
yeah, otherwise it's just going to be the exact same situation, only like.
But more breathing room.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get to it. So Michael missed half of the shows we've done for the Pop Culture Hour. So
I was on vacation.
Rehab. It's fine.
I wasn't on rehab.
It's okay. Listen, you're getting help, and we love you for that, and we're here for you.
Well, then I didn't miss my responsibilities. Then I was doing something I needed to do.
Absolutely. So let's. Why don't you start us off, Michael Luch?
Yeah. So I haven't spoke to both of you much, a little bit, but much in 2 weeks. And the big gamer that I am, I was really excited for EA
because they take your phone away. We know. Go on.
It was 14 days. It wasn't 28 though. Anyway, long story short, a lot of video game shit came out in the past 2 weeks, mainly because normally at this time of the year we have something called E3. E3 is basically Star Wars Celebration for video gamers, the Electronic Entertainment Expo in Los Angeles, California, and it's when like all the big publishers and the big 3 behemoths, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, do their press conferences, release their info on their new hardware, talk about new software, EA, Activision. Actually, no, Activision has their own thing because they're too cool. But instead, we're getting everything virtually now. They're doing like these, online panels, basically. And we all knew that something Star Wars related was coming. And if you're a Star Wars fan listening, you already know EA announced Star Wars Squadrons, which was coded as Project Maverick like 2 months ago. And I told Johnny, like, it's definitely going to be like a TIE Fighter X-Wing type of like flight game. The trailer came out. Then there was like a 6-minute teaser on how the game's going to play out. And it just looks really fucking awesome. Like, really good. I'm very excited about it. Did you guys watch all that, John?
Yeah, I mean, I don't play much, and like that's definitely like not my style of game, but it looks good, and I know people are really excited that it's cross-platform, so you're going to be able to play with friends who have different systems than you, and that's a big deal.
So I'll break it down real quick because I'm not sure how much Johnny knows. And I know Johnny's all totally down to like game on his Xbox with a lot of our listeners. So it takes place after Return of the Jedi, and it's like the remnants of the Empire are holding on. There's Titan Squadron that you can play as on the Empire side, and then there's Rebel Squadron on obviously the Rebellion side. There's 5. The dogfight is 5v5. There's characters in it. There's a story mode. Harrison Dule is in it. On the Rebel side, Ray Sloan from the Aftermath novels is in it on the Titan/Empire side. There is canon story material associated with this. Not only is there 5v5 dogfight mode, but there's a better mode that is, I think it's Armada mode, where basically there's a Star Destroyer over here and like a bunch of smaller Imperial ships that are still fucking large. And over here you've got like a Mon Calamari starfighter and a bunch of smaller, Tantivs. And basically there's this attrition that you go back and forth with. Like, you basically, if you're the team on the Rebels fighting against the Empire, you got to take down those smaller gunships to get to the flagship and vice versa. And then there's loadouts that you can add to your ship, which make it very strategic, like Risk, or almost like chess, where it's like, all right, you've got protons and you've got a tractor beam, but I've got laser cannons. So if you hit that ship with that proton first, or if you start tractoring that, I could take it out. So it'll be very strategic with your friends and communication on like who does what and at what time. And I really like that, because Battlefront is kind of like, we're all flying around and we're like, dude, I'm flying around with you. This is cool. I'm shooting shit. I don't know what the fuck I'm shooting. Oh, cool. I kind of see your ship there. But this is going to be like way more strategic and tactical, like a Risk on a board map. It's like role playing / action RPG in space in a 2020 way, which means it's more action oriented, if that makes sense. And I'd love to hear Johnny's take on this, because I know he's like always hit or miss on the Battlefront stuff. And I think his favorite part of it was the flight. But this is going to be like a little more strategic, where you can map your loadout on your ship, right? So like if Hawes is all laser cannons, you can't be laser cannons if you're going to trail him. You need to be protons, and you need to be tractor, or you need to be, it's those like crazy things that Jango Fett released in Attack of the Clones that go BAM! And basically that's just going to freeze you in place for like 10 seconds. It's called a crowd control missile, if you will. But like, this is where like we could really get down and be like, all right, this is your role, this is my role, and this is Hawes's role. And now we like can come up with like a strategy, like chess almost, but it's still action. So I think that EA did a good job on this.
Yeah, you know me very well. That's exactly pretty much the only part of Battlefront that I did enjoy was the aerial combat. They had me at Maverick, clearly. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I love that it's gonna be strategic, and a lot of the warfare games where like you form your squad. Like one guy's the heavy gunner, the other guy's the sniper. So it's very similar in that way, that you build your team with different skill sets. So it's gonna be really cool. I love the fact that it's cross-platform. I'll be getting one of the new systems. I've always been an Xbox guy since the PlayStation. I had the PlayStation 1 and 2, and then I went Xbox. So I missed Xbox Gen 1, and I hopped on a 360, and I haven't left Xbox since the 360. But I think now I'm going to hop to the PS5 right now, only because it looks cooler. And I hope games just catch on and do the cross-platform thing now that I'm not obviously a big gamer, but I think Fortnite was the first one to kind of do it and create a need for it. So I'm really happy about that because Fernando, shout out to Fernando, I love him to death. He's a PS guy. He has PS4, and I always had Xbox, so I couldn't really play with him and stuff.
And me too. I mean, I haven't played with you much because I'm a PlayStation guy.
That's right. And the Spider-Man game I never got to play, and then the new one coming out with Miles Morales, I'm gonna want to play. So I'm really and I hear This Is Us 1 and 2 are really good. Not This Is Us. What is it called?
Just Us?
The Last of Us.
Yeah.
This Is Us is about the father who died but shows up in every episode. The tearjerker. Sorry, The Last of Us 1 and 2. So there's a lot of PlayStation games I'd want to catch up on. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked. And while we're on Star Wars, Michael, so little backstory, everybody. Michael basically wanted to take off Episode 3 to watch this 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith that's not canon, that's not Lucasfilm. What was all that about?
All the content is canon. And basically, superhero theorist, you can find him on YouTube, and he's pretty popular on Twitter. He's also a video editor, apparently, or his buddy is. And he's been promoting this thing like crazy for the past, ever since the end of Clone Wars Season 7 finished, where we had episodes, Emily, correct me, 11 and 12 or 12 and 13, basically take place chronologically at the same time as Revenge of the Sith. So what he did was he figured out the exact points in time by, I guess, the hour or the minute, and he cut and found the perfect transition points of cutting in both the last Clone Wars episodes into Revenge of the Sith, where Ahsoka goes to Mandalore and goes after Maul, while Obi-Wan and Anakin do the Battle of Coruscant, and then go through the rest of that film. But he's cutting in pieces of those last two episodes chronologically and perfectly. And there's just been a hype about it in the subculture of Star Wars for the past month. And I just forgot about the scheduling. I knew it was tonight. I said I was going to watch it because obviously I have a lot of other things going on. But long story short, I watched the first 15 minutes, and it starts off with the first 10 minutes of episode 12 in season 7, and then it cuts to the Battle of Coruscant. And you think, okay, cool, I could watch that, and then I could watch Revenge of the Sith, then I can go back and watch those episodes. But from what I just saw, the way that he decided the transition should happen, and then you've got Obi and Anakin and the Jedi Starfighters, and the music kicks in after they take that first battle, and Anakin hands Ahsoka back her lightsabers. It worked really, really well. So I'm excited to see where the rest of that goes. And I'm not sure, because I had to hop on with you guys, if he decided that he was going to use any of the deleted scenes, like the Shakti scene where she gets killed by Grievous, or there's a bunch of other really crazy deleted scenes on Revenge of the Sith Blu-ray. I don't know if you guys saw them, but there's some other shit that is apparently not canon. But I'm wondering if the way he cuts it doesn't necessarily have to be canon, but it just makes for a good 4-hour roller coaster. You know what I mean? But it was cool.
Cool. So let us know after you watch it. I think Bill's recording it. Shout out Bill Beck, producer.
Thanks, buddy.
Hi, Bill Beck. Say hi.
You guys can fuck right off.
I love that. I love that. All right, cool. All right, so any other video game news, Mikey?
Real quick. So I'm not sure how big of gamers you guys are from the subculture of role-playing games or open world games like Skyrim and stuff. But there's two companies that do it really well. One is Bethesda, who's created the Morrowind games for the past 20 years. and the other is CD Projekt out of Poland. And they created a game called The Witcher back in 2000. Witcher 2, no, 99 actually. Witcher 2 came out in 2003. And then Witcher 3 came out about 6 or 7 years ago. And it's arguably the best open world RPG next to Skyrim ever. They have been working on a new title called Cyberpunk 2077, which stars Keanu Reeves, by the way. And it's a fully open world Blade Runner style RPG where, you know, you play as the main character, you level up your talent trees and your skill points, and you go on these quests, sub-quests, main quests, and craft your items and your weaponry and your it's cyberpunk, right? So you install these cybernetic implants into your head and into your arms and stuff. Well, they came out with a new trailer, a new teaser, and a ton of press this past week, and it was all amazing. It's honestly some of the most amazing game footage I've seen in a while. I mean, this will be game of the year if it comes out in November. And I say that because with the good news comes the bad. It was supposed to come out in September, but they gave us all this great candy, and then they said to us, well, we're going to delay it to November just to make sure there's like no bugs, and we want to add a few other things and start working on DLC and stuff. So I was psyched. I thought I was going to get this in like 2.5 months, but they just delayed it till November. But this game, Johnny, this shit looks like we're going to like you're going to like live and breathe in Blade Runner. It looks fucking insane, dude. I mean, I tout to both of you to check out the trailers and the teasers. It looks awesome.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
No, that is one I'm kind of interested in just because, like, as a big sci-fi reader and stuff, I've read a lot of cyberpunk books. Like, I'm a big, like, William Gibson fan, and that's definitely that aesthetic that I enjoy.
Right on. Yeah, it looks great. And I think you would relate to it too, because like it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's gritty, but it's fun, and like everyone's sexy but also robotic, and like I feel like I want to live there. You know what I mean? Like it's just so cool, the art style and everything. It's awesome.
All right.
I think that's all I got for like gaming.
It's Leonardo DiCaprio time. He's basically a reoccurring segment here on the Pop Culture Hour. No, but like seriously, he's legit in the news. So we'll talk about it. All right, so Oscar winner Barry Jenkins, and if you don't know, he wrote Moonlight. And Leonardo DiCaprio are teaming with Netflix on a film adaptation of Virunga. Virunga was a documentary about these like 4 people fighting in Congo for the national park of Virunga to help protect like the last of these mountain gorillas from poaching, oil exploration, and just thievery in general. So I guess they're gonna make it like an action movie, and I mean we all know, maybe not we all, but I know, Leo is huge into protecting the environment, and this is like right up his alley. So I know he's gonna produce it, but I don't think Leo's ready to do a movie on Netflix as far as an actor. I can't see him doing that yet. Although he's doing the Apple TV movie, so I take that back. So look, prove myself wrong in the same 30 seconds that I open my mouth.
I'm not familiar with the Apple TV movie. What is that?
The new Scorsese movie.
Killers of the Flower Moon or something like that. He plays like a mass murderer. It's like the beginning of the FBI.
I remember.
And the thing is, Apple TV's paying for the movie, and they're going to premiere it on Apple TV. A lot like the Irishman for Netflix. So Scorsese again is getting funded by like an app, if you will, and it'll premiere on the app. Like it'll do like a little movie theater run like the Irishman did, but it's pretty much going to be on the app. So I will have to get the Apple TV app in about 2 years. And I don't really have a reason to do it before then.
So he's sticking with Scorsese. He's like from The Irishman. I mean, not The Irishman, but he's been with Scorsese on and off, but it seems consistently lately, right?
Oh no, they're Gangs of New York, The Departed. What am I missing?
Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street. Fucking.
Wolf of Wall Street.
I thought there was another one too. But like they're like peas in a pod, those dudes.
Yeah, they like working together. I mean, like, you know, I couldn't imagine what kind of stress and pressure it is on someone like DiCaprio to like pick the right script, pick the right director. So like, you know, if an icon is always available and willing to work with you, you know, you take that. You know, it's hard to take a chance. Like, let's say I wrote the most amazing script, right? And somehow it gets into DiCaprio's hands. Like, he's not going to let me direct it. You know what I mean? He's not going to take that chance. And be like, nah, dude, for real. Like, I'm Sylvester Stallone. It's just going to be like Rocky. Don't worry about it. Here, let's go get ice cream.
Johnny, do you truly believe that episode 2 and 3 would have been better with DiCaprio than Hayden?
Oh, yeah. Because
Really?
Leo would have had the wherewithal, the clout, and the experience to know the lines were dog shit. And he would have had the stain, the clout to say, can we just rework this a little bit? You know, and you know, George would have listened to him. Like Hayden Christensen was like, "Hi, I'm happy to be here." Leo would have been like, "George, let's talk about this scene. What's going on here, buddy? Let's
Yeah.
tweak this."
I think they're also just actors who need like a really strong director, which Lucas isn't in terms of acting. And like Hayden, there's other stuff that Hayden is really good in. You know, I think he needs that like guiding hand more than DiCaprio does.
Oh, I will say it to the day I die. Life is a House and Shattered Glass are two amazing movies.
I love
Hayden
Jumper.
Christensen.
I love Jumper, Johnny.
Jumper's a good movie, but like as far as acting chops, like Life is a House is his best movie and Shattered Glass is probably his second best movie. Like Jumper was cool, but like I'm saying like he could have won an award for like Life is a House in my opinion. So I agree with Emily, and those are my two examples. The right script, the right director, Hayden can do well.
Yeah. I'm not going to segue too much, but you know, I'm on, so I got to do it a little bit. So Ewan McGregor was being interviewed.
Ewan McGregor. Sorry.
His Obi-Wan show and asking, I don't know if it was Collider or Vice or what the fuck, but they're like, "Are you excited about this? Like, are you more excited about this? Like to hone a lightsaber?" And he goes, I've never been more excited because like back in the day, like Hayden and I had like blue and green screens and shit. And I just watched the Gallery Mandalorian documentary where Pedro Pascal is in this dome and everything around him looks real and like the actor can feel it. So now he's all excited because the technology's changed so much that he's like, I'm gonna be behind some green and blue screen with George Lucas, like, oh, faster and more intense. Now he's like, I'm gonna be in this fucking dome and I can see Tatooine and I can see Coruscant or whatever the fuck, and I can feel where I am as an actor. That gives you so much more power. Apparently, this is what he was saying, and he's so much more excited to wield Obi-Wan Kenobi in an environment that he can better relate to as an actor and understand. So I think that's really dope that like now we have this technology that, you know, ILM, Lucasfilm, and Jon Favreau brought to Mandalorian that we can use for Star Wars. And I'm super psyched about that. Like, if Ewan McGregor wants to come back after in 2006 being like, it was the worst acting experience in my life, to now saying like, yo, I'm so excited because this is all I wanted, like back in the day, that like I didn't have. You know what I mean? Like, I'm fucking amped for that, to just see what he can do when he is really embracing the camera now. John.
No, I mean, I get it. He's gonna have more tools, and he'll be surrounded by like he'll be like on location, if you will, and then that technology, that big round screen or whatever, that, you know, shows like the depth of the background. I forget what it's called, but yeah, no, I get it. What do you think, Emily?
No, I think it's cool like that. That totally makes sense. I mean, I imagine it's pretty difficult when, like, during 90% of your movie, you're not reacting to anything that's actually there. That's a lot of burden to put on an actor.
All right, so Emily, you're up. You sent us something, a little more Disney in our lives here.
Yeah, so there's going to be another Pirates of the Caribbean movie. We've gotten some word before that they're rebooting it, and I don't care for this franchise. I don't particularly like any of those movies. But one of the ones that's being made is Margot Robbie, and it's going to be done with the same writer from Birds of Prey. And that is a combination that's awesome. And I think you put that combination into Pirates, that's great. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be as over the top of Birds of Prey, because there's no way they're going to let them do a R-rated Pirates movie. But yeah, like Margot Robbie going around with a sword, I'm totally down for that.
Did you
no
see
Johnny
Birds?
Depp, right?
Yeah,
No.
no Johnny Depp.
Did you see Birds of Prey?
I love Birds of Prey.
I didn't see it yet, so it's worth watching. It's good.
It's a lot of fun.
I really liked a lot the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Black Pearl. Then they just got the second one was like, maybe. And then the third one was just like, third and fourth ones, I think, just were like just stupid. You know. But that first one I really liked. Like Johnny Depp, for all his faults, clearly a talented actor, and that Jack Sparrow character was just timeless. Like, that
he
character
canceled,
will be
John?
around.
Is he canceled, John?
I don't speak Twitter. What do you?
I don't either. That's not. I read the fucking New York Post. I don't even know what canceled means anymore. I don't even know what planet I'm on. But I don't think. I mean, I don't know what he did. But is he canceled? I just want to know.
I mean, he did beat the shit out of his girlfriend. So
So he's canceled like everybody else.
Well, I mean, he seems to be about as canceled as Mel Gibson, which is that he shouldn't be working anymore, but people still work with him.
I'm watching my glass disappear in my background. It's so weird. Look at that. That's like the weirdest thing ever. Look at that. Look at that.
Way to stay focused. To go offside a little bit about actors who were phenomenal actors and then did something real fucking stupid and now they don't work anymore. I actually got into House of Cards recently.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So
I never watched that. Is it good?
It's very good. I just started season 4, episode 1 today. So Emily, what did you think of that series?
I got out before the stuff about him came out. I think I watched all the first 2 seasons and really enjoyed them and thought they were really good. I think I bailed sometime during season 3. I don't quite remember why. I bounce out on a lot of shows, even shows I like. I reached a point where I'm like, I'm done.
No, the show got worse. Like season 1 was amazing. You were just like, what? It was fresh. It was new. And then season 2 was okay. And then season 3, I'm just trying to push through. And then season 4 just started, so I'll see if it's any better. But it's pretty good. So it just made me think of it. I tell you what though. Now I see why Mahershala Ali started getting all these amazing movie roles in Moonlight and Green Book. He I guess he got his start in that show, and he was like a rival of Kevin Spacey's character Wood in season 1 and 2, and then season 3 he becomes on his team, and then I haven't seen him in season 4 yet. But he's really good in it. Robin Wright Penn's really good in it. Those 3, and then his creepy assistant, Emily, I don't know his name.
Yeah,
the guy who
I know
will do anything for him.
The character's name is Doug Stamper. It's an actor. I can never remember his name. I feel bad because he's a character actor who turns up in a lot of stuff. And every time I see him, I go, "Oh, I love that guy," but I do not know his name.
And he's not just a side character. He's got his own 3
yeah, he turns out
arc.
to be a huge weird creep Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you think he's just like this guy who, I mean, obviously not great because he's doing all these dirty dealings for Frank, but then he turns out to be like just some weird like stalker stuff, and it's all very strange.
Yeah. And Kate Mara was in season 1.
Oh, Michael Kelly is the actor's name.
There you go. Very good, but like weirdo character. And Kate Mara is one of my Hollywood crushes. Sorry to offend Julio. Kate Mara, not only is she like gorgeous and a pretty good actress, like I ain't gonna like, demand an Oscar for her, but she's pretty good. But you know why I really love her, guys?
Why is that?
Do you know what her family owns?
No.
The New York Football Giants.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
That's pretty much all you can ask for. You can own the New York Football Giants and be like talented and pretty. That works for me.
Challenge accepted.
So, a Star Wars fan, one of your geek friends, Johnny's known me for 5 years probably. Emily knew me for like 3 or 4, whatever the fuck. Like, I don't know shit about politics. I don't understand what's going on in the world. I wake up every morning, I'm confused. How would you explain to me in so many words, like, why I should watch House of Cards? Like, what the fuck is that even about? Like, the White House and shit?
Well,
I don't even know.
I mean, it's not like House of Cards. I mean, it's never about like any particular policy or anything. It's all about like the weaseling and the double crossing and it's almost like watching like a movie about like a con man or something like that. It's all the political intrigue. It doesn't have anything really to say like politically except, hey, politics is really corrupt.
So like Game of Thrones, kinda.
Yeah, I mean it's in terms of like having to have any interest in actual politics, yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll try it. I don't know. Maybe I'll.
If season 1 doesn't get you, then don't even bother, because season 1's the best season in my opinion.
I got it.
Michael.
Yo.
The War for Cybertron will be on Netflix July 30th.
I'm so excited.
All right, so tell us about it.
Backstory: in 2017, Verizon decided to make their streaming app similar to Netflix, but they were way behind the ball. They're like, we're going to make our own Netflix. This is Verizon before they acquired a lot of these other big production and also distribution companies that they've done so far after they acquired Yahoo. Machinima, which was a publisher, an online digital publisher, pitched to Hasbro, we've got these really good CGI animators on board, and you guys are coming out and you're doing better and better every year on advancing your Transformers toy line, and IDW is doing a great job with the comic books. Let us animate a trilogy for you, short 5 to 10 minute shows that'll come out once a month, and it'll go along with your toy line. And so Hasbro said, cool, here's a contract, whatever, we'll pay you and your animators such and such. And then Machinima partnered up with Verizon and on this Go 90 app that no longer exists, by the way. And the first season was called Combiner Wars, which was at the time Hasbro's Transformers Combiner Wars line, there was some Leader and Voyager figures, which were basically just figures on their own, but they re-released Devastator, they re-released Superion and Defensor, and all the big combiners that we knew from G1. Because in 2017 was really the turning point where Hasbro realized, okay, Michael Bay fucked up. We need to go back to like the root of the franchise. We need to harness the creativity and the art of and the toys of what was back then and revolutionize them for the time. So they basically brought back all the old school G1 Transformers and made them modernized. But they still look like how they did back in the 1986 Transformers movie, but they were just like way better. Long story short, they do these three shitty. They do these Machinima and Verizon partnered up. They do these three shitty webisode seasons: Combiner Wars, Titans Return, Power of the Primes, and Titans Return. And they were shit, but the art was good, and the tech was good, and the CGI was good. But like the story sucked. They didn't get Peter Cullen. They didn't get Frank Welker. They didn't get any of the good voice actors. And then Verizon said in 2019, all right, we're sunsetting Go 90. If you have a Verizon phone, you get Go 90 for free. Sorry, it's gone. If you're a Transformers fan and you're paying $5 a month for this app, it's gone. So Netflix fucking picked it up with Machinima and Hasbro somehow and gave them a fuck ton of budget. So now we're getting War for Cybertron, the story of the Decepticons versus the Autobots on Cybertron. I guess it's from when really the war escalated. You're not going to get it from like Primus and Alpha Trion, and you're going to get it from like when the war really escalates. I think we're getting 30-minute episodes. It's really cryptic because like I'm on all the forums. Johnny knows this. I'm on all the fucking forums. I'm fucking talking to people on Reddit. No one knows if it's 30-minute episodes, if it's 45-minute episodes or whatever. But I think we're getting a 10-episode season, 30-minute episodes of like really when Optimus and Megs like have their start the final war on Cybertron. And I think all that shit we got on Go 90, those like webisodes, I think that's going out the window. And I think Hasbro's like, restart it. Let's do it the right way. Netflix gave us all this money. And if you look at the art from what we saw on Go 90 and the way the CGI was done, it's fantastic. I mean, it's not as good as the first 10 minutes of the Bumblebee movie, but for animated CGI, it's fucking fantastic. So July 9th, I don't know exactly what we're going to get, John, but I'm fucking, I'll be right there that day. I'm excited, bro.
Yeah, July 30th is the date. And quick fun fact, then I have a question for you. Quick fun fact is I forget which line it was. It was either Transformers Siege or Transformers Combiner or something. One of the toy lines, our very own and now Marvel's Adam Stafford did the art for one of those boxes, which is like sick.
He did Titans Return and Power of the Primes. He did both.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, when I get around to it, I'm going to pick up one of each and just to have like and say like my buddy did this artwork. We're actually going to have Adam on soon when we get a little more Disney Plus info now that he works at Marvel. So still so fucking crazy to say that. Now that he works at Marvel, now he's a Marvel artist like crazy.
Dude, I was bugging out when he was at Hasbro. Now he's at fucking like crazy.
Talented dude. So we're clearly proud of him. When he comes on, he's going to give us all the Disney Plus Marvel stuff. He'll be our insider. Plus, there was an article about how Andrew Garfield was the best Spider-Man. And I can't wait to have that debate with Adam. And he feels very strongly about that article. And I can't wait to talk about it with him. So that'll be in like the next episode or two. But before I move on, I was listening to Geek Dudes and shout out to Chris Fresh. Emily and I love you. And we can't wait to give you a big hug when we see you.
I do too. I talked to Chris. I love you, Chris.
Yes, we all love you. Chris mentioned on the Geek Dudes, and I wanted to ask you, Mike, because you're a slightly bigger Transformers fan than I am. Does the G1 Optimus Prime truck mode and all the other Transformers having like the Earth car mode on Cybertron bother you? Does that take you out? Because that was a pretty big debate on Geek Dudes. I was wondering what your take was.
No, so they have these autonomous. What does Optimus say? They have mobile modes for like ground-based combat, but they can also fly in robot mode. And they don't look like trucks when they're there. Like I have so many figures I can show you where Optimus looks like a fucking alien Mars ground rover, and Starscream looks like a triangle space fucking UFO. So it doesn't bother me because when they're going for ground infantry, they want to stay low to the ground. They want to stay low to the surface of Cybertron, and they can still fly if they need to in robot mode. When they come to Earth, they scan a vehicle that is attractive to what their strong suits are. So I don't feel that way. I know there's a huge debate about this because I've debated about it many times, but it makes sense to me for what they're from a warfare standpoint and how they attack and what they're good at in battle. It makes sense to me. It doesn't mean that the Autobots can't fly like the Decepticons can. They can fly. They can only fly in robot mode on Cybertron. Doesn't mean they can fly in robot mode on Earth. In their atmosphere on Cybertron, they can fly, from what I know. But the main continuity, it's not like Star Wars. It's very different. The main continuity shifts and Hasbro changes things And IDW or DW or Marvel over the course of 30 years, they always kind of change things. But from where we stand right now, I think that it's totally cool that like Bumblebee's a little mini rover hatchback and Optimus is like a big tank on wheels down low, fucking getting to where he needs to go. It's better than running, but they can fly in robot mode. So like I'm cool with that.
So the simple question is, it doesn't bother you that they have Earth cars when they haven't been to Earth yet?
Well, the new toy lines are correcting that. So the Siege line is still on Cybertron. That was last year. And my stars, I can show you my Starscream in the box, my Optimus in the box.
No, the new show, War for Cybertron.
Yeah.
They haven't been to Earth yet, but they transform into Earth vehicles. Does that bother you? Does that take you out of the story?
I haven't seen the show yet. I saw the trailer. It looks like
oh my fucking god! In the trailer, it shows Optimus Prime turn into like his truck form. Does that bother you? Does that take you out of it? Does that make you say like, how can you know what a human truck looks like if you haven't been to Earth yet?
Nah, it doesn't, because Transformers for me is always be on that B level when it comes to the continuity. It's not like Star Wars. It'll always be like very. I don't need it to match up with that reality. I don't, because
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry, I went on a rant because I'm passionate about it, but that doesn't bother me that much mainly because Hasbro and the comic book publishers and the animators did a really good, and the artists did a really good job trying to explain to us like this is their Cybertronian form, this is their Earth form. They scam, they come to Earth. If this show wants to show Optimus as he is on Earth on Cybertron just to get views and it's going to like amplify the franchise so we have more fans, I'm fine with it.
That was like a mouth marathon.
It really wasn't, though.
That was like a fucking...
It wasn't.
A 5K rant right there.
It really wasn't.
I forgot Emily was on the show. Hi, Emily.
I don't have anything to say about fucking Transformers. Jesus, it's fine.
Exactly. He brings up Transformers. He gives me 5 minutes, and he's still yelling at me that I'm talking too much.
Well, we're the pop culture hour, and we have yet to do an hour-long show. And
well, brought up Transformers.
Bill Beck, poor Bill Beck has to edit his ass off.
All right. Well, then he'll edit me out, I guess. You know.
I can never do that, Mikey. You mean too much to me.
No. I mean, like, visualize. For the YouTube. All right, so now the big story of the week, and I will let the wonderful Emily Lynn take it. So we're back to the DCU. Em,
am I talking about Michael Keaton?
Oh, you are talking about Michael Keaton as if you were Michael talking about Transformers.
I mean, because I haven't really followed the DC movies at all, I'm not entirely sure of what their current status of continuity is, but it sounds as if Michael Keaton is at least maybe going to be back for The Flash and possibly other films as well.
So Flashpoint is a Flash standalone movie, and it's kind of like a standalone movie. So the Flash can time travel, if you will, and he can change something. So it'll be like a complete alternate universe within one movie. So you could do anything you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can kill Batman, you can kill Robin, you can have Robin, and it doesn't affect anything else. Not that DCU has like a legit canon going like Marvel or Star Wars, but the Flashpoint movie in itself, they can do anything and everything they want and just kind of make it like a Marvel one shot, if you will. And I'm sure the DC people love that I use a Marvel example to explain DC. So in that, it looks like we're going to get the Batman Beyond Batman, which Batman Beyond, if you guys don't know, is an older Bruce Wayne training the next Batman. So maybe that's where Michael Keaton fits in, or he's just an older Batman, or just an older retired Bruce Wayne. So that's great news. Michael Keaton has always been my favorite Batman because he was my first Batman. Like when I saw Batman, like I believed that there was a Batman when I saw that Batman. Like, that's how young I was,
No, I mean, Michael Keaton still is Batman to me. Like, when I think about Batman, I think Michael Keaton. Like, I as much as I love the Christian Bale and Christopher Nolan films, when I just think about Batman, I'm thinking about Keaton and the Tim Burton movies.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
You want to get nuts?
get nuts. Come on. Let's get nuts.
I've always wanted Keaton to come back. I still kind of think they should adapt. You'd have to call it something else now, but they should do Dark Knight Returns, the Frank Miller comic, and because that is about old Batman and what that means. And well, I mean, that was before Frank Miller went quite as crazy as he went, but like Michael Keaton is the perfect age to do it now, and it would be fucking badass.
Yeah, he looks good, man. He looked great as the Vulture in Spider-Man: Homecoming. And did you see that indie flick with him and Ed Norton? I forget the name of it, where he played like a movie star doing Broadway, and his big hit was like a Batman type role, but Birdman. Yeah. So like we kind of got a little taste of it in Birdman, but that was more of the actor point of view. But if you haven't seen Birdman, what a great movie. He should have won the Oscar for it. I forgot who won it that year, but he should have won it.
I thought it was Leo for fucking Wolf of Wall Street. Isn't that 13?
No, he didn't. He won for Leo won for the Revenant. No, because I wouldn't have rooted. I was rooting for Michael Keaton.
So I have a question.
I don't root against Leo.
So I have a question. What is the Flash movie Flashpoint? What is that? I'm not a DC guy.
So it's like I kind of just went through it as much as I knew. It's a standalone Flash movie, and he can change timelines. Like he can travel through time, and if he does something, it can change everything. And he can travel through all these alternate timelines or change time, and you can get, where the Bruce Wayne becomes the Joker. Like you can do anything and everything you want to do. Like it's just like a standalone thing. There was like a hint of it in the Zack Snyder movies where like the Flash stops and says like, oh, this is the wrong time. Like that's kind of like a hint of it. But the real conversation is not just about Michael Keaton, but you're trying to lock down Michael Keaton for this Flashpoint movie, but Ezra Miller's still in some shit, which we talked extensively on in episode 1. So I don't know what they're going to do. What do you think, Emily?
They have to recast him. I mean, they have to. Like the fact that his name is still being talked about is just bananas to me. And I think especially with the climate we have been in the past couple of weeks where we've seen
months.
Well, no, but I mean, in the past couple of weeks, it's like there's been this huge ramp up of people naming names. Like it's happened on with like YouTubers, it's happened in comics, it's happened in gaming, it's happening right now in sci-fi fantasy like books.
Oh, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, where there's been like just this like rash of stories that have come out, and it seems like people actually like it's built up enough now that people are actually taking action. Like several of the authors who have been named have now lost their agents and publishers, and a couple of like YouTubers and stuff lost all their sponsors. Some of the comic book people are like gone now.
The Twitch guys I showed you.
Yeah. And so it seems like we're at a point where people are taking more action about this stuff. So I'd be surprised if Ezra Miller ends up still being in this movie.
I agree with you. It would be a dumb move. And again, it's a shame because Ezra Miller, brilliant actor. But you can't throw a woman down on the ground in a Costco or bar. Still debatable.
I think he was on drugs. I think he was on drugs or something.
Well, even if you, I
don't know.
Still, you can't
I know. Yeah.
So, I hope Emily's right. I'll go ahead and throw my hat in the ring. Johnny Grasso the Flash. Just in case anyone's listening.
Might be a little bit
big
old
Zack
for
Snyder
it.
fan. Hey, whoa, hey, wow, I can shave and look young. That is borderline hurtful, but you're right. You're not wrong.
I mean, you could shave and look now. You can't look like you're like 25 or whatever the hell how old he is.
I think that Johnny needs to lose the goatee. I think he needs to go full beard or mustache.
Oh, you guys see my handlebar mustache
I think
today?
you look.
I think Johnny's mustache looks really cool.
I don't want to tell you what I think you look like.
Are you kidding me, Mike?
Yeah, for those who are listening to the podcast and not watch it on YouTube. You got to turn on the YouTube just to see Johnny's mustache because it's really something.
She's like, if you were wearing Emily's glasses with that, with your hair slicked back, I'd arrest you, even if I wasn't a cop.
Are you fucking kidding me, Mike?
I would arrest you. Okay.
You look like someone who should not be on the street.
Wow.
You know why I say that? Because anyone...
One handlebar mustache does that to a guy. Okay.
You just look like a weirdo. I don't know.
Wow.
No, you're beautiful. I just feel like it's not for you. I don't want you to look like a... I don't know what offends people, so I can't say anything now.
I think
I'm afraid to say anything.
It's just weird. It's weird to see you with it.
I want to mess with my buddy on our podcast that I've done forever, but now I'm afraid to say things.
Well, it's
like I don't want to call him a pedophile, you know.
No, God, please don't do that.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I didn't. That was an example.
Yeah, thank you.
It was an example.
Great fucking example. I mean, you had to go like pretty much the absolute. I'd rather be called a murderer.
Definitely, I'd rather be called a murderer.
I was gonna actually say serial killer. I was gonna say a serial killer at first.
The serial killer is much better.
At least a serial, right? They have purpose. They usually have a mission.
Look, I can imagine a circumstance under which I would kill somebody.
Emily, I'm just messing with him because I like.
Whoa, hold on. Go ahead, Emily. What circumstance would you kill somebody?
Okay, I mean, like, how dark do we want this show to get? But if somebody hurt my little sister or something like that, I can imagine a situation where I would kill somebody.
Oh, okay, for sure. Mama bear mode.
Yeah.
Understood. Respected. Get that.
Anyway, I like messing with Johnny. I was just kidding. I apologize.
I know you were fucking
serious.
Kidding.
I wasn't serious at all. He looks great. I like the mustache. It looks great.
So let me tell you the story behind it, because it's actually Sabrina. So I had, I had my like little beard going for a while, and then it was getting hot, so I started to shave, and she said, "You got to do something funny." And I was like, "All right, I'll do something funny." So I shaved it, and she couldn't stop laughing. So I went to work the next day with it, and people like really thought I meant it, like it wasn't like a facial hair joke. And they were coming up to me, they were like, "I like it." I'm like what? They're like, the mustache. And like, I forgot, you forget, right? And I'm like, "Oh," and then I told them the story, and they're like, "Right." And I'm like, "Oh man." So I've actually had this for probably like 4 or 5 days. So now I go to work. I work every other day in the building. So Monday I'm in, and I'm gonna shave the handlebar part and just do the mustache and see how that looks.
I like that better.
So we'll see.
Me personally,
I usually am clean shaven or 5 o'clock shadow. Those are kind of like my two looks. That's what I do.
No.
That's what I do. Yeah. And then summer I'm definitely clean shaven because like it's hot. You don't need, But my hair's starting to get lighter again.
When do you start eating carbs again? In like a month?
Carbs? No.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting ripped. I got 2 abs. Well,
we know it's fine.
I'll leave my shirt off.
We know. No, I know, like, at the end of the summer you start eating carbs again. I just wanted to know when.
No, I'm eating carbs, but like I'm actually, my body's ahead of schedule because I was locked in the Mike knows me so well. Like I do this thing with my body. Like I'll get in shape for the summer. Like that's what people do.
You're a freak. No, you're a freak. You're not normal.
I try and get as in shape as I can for summer and for Star Wars celebrations. And people would make fun of me. I forget which friend it was. They made fun of me. Like I almost killed myself. Like the last celebration. Like I had like no body weight. Like no, what's it called? Not body weight. No fat. No body fat. And like it was Chicago. Like I had sweatshirts on most.
And you got sick. You felt like shit.
Yeah, no, there was one day where like I almost passed out, so I ate like carbs like that whole day and I rebounded. But that was the day that you and I had that picture in the stadium. That was like I took a nap and like ate some carbs and I was like okay. But yeah, like I mean, it's something that I'm not gonna do for my whole life. So I'll do it until like I can't do it anymore. And
I
then,
mean, dude, you've motivated me over the past 4 or 5 years. I probably would have been a lot fatter than I am now. I mean, I lost a ton of weight. I'm doing real well. I'm not lifting anymore because of my back, but I lost a ton of weight.
yeah, you look fine. You look like you. You know what it is? It's a lot of it is you feel shitty if you don't do it because it becomes like such a routine, and then it becomes like almost who you are.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I'm basically done with Twitter, you know. Like I'm on Twitter with the podcast and I'll do podcast stuff, but like, you know, it becomes like part of your image. So it's like if I don't work out and my arms get smaller, like I'm gonna be like, oh, people are gonna say like, oh, you have no arms anymore. Like, you know what I mean? So it almost becomes a part of you and you feel pressure to keep it up. Does that make sense?
It's just that platform, Johnny, it's just too vain for me, bro. That's why I never dived into it. It's too in the moment vain, and like whatever you're looking at is reality, and it's not really the case. That's why I love Facebook. Both of you know I love Facebook because I really can express from my mind is thinking, and not what I'm trying to like forward or retweet or fucking show and shit. I like to talk.
I personally took a major break from social media about 4 months ago, and like I think my life's better for it. I'm just more in the moment of my actual life, you know, like not checking my phone, not feeling the need to reply or you know, like you know, I answer all actually there's a couple DMs that I just recently answered. Like I answer all the DMs, you know, like I check it, I read it, but like I don't engage, and it's just been good for me, you know, past 3 or 4 months, just because like you need to live your life with who you're around. You know, Sabrina, for example, used to like always like yell at me. Like I would be on Twitter like in a conversation and she'd be like, I'm fucking right here. Like, will you talk to me? And I'm like, oh, sorry, hold on, let me just and that would be like, all right, hold on, let me just okay, yeah, we'll go in a second, let me just. And it, you know, so now like I got rid of it, but you know what I mean. Took a break and just doing the. Speaking of which, so like I do the podcast stuff on Twitter. Michael, can you please get on top of your Facebook game and hit the 15 to 20 groups when the episode comes out?
I have been. I did last week.
I hope so. Once a week.
The problem is that because the world has changed, everyone put up that it needs to get approved. And most of them don't approve the post. Like all these groups don't want promotion.
No, the groups that were just at least the ones that we were already in.
I podcasts and podcasters, News Hub, Veritas,
Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics,
Alliance always because they approve us. I got Pop Culture Hour, not Pop Collectors, Pop Culture Collectors. I got new ones that Araj gave me. But dude, it's different than it was last year. Like everyone put on these new guidelines, like it needs to get approved, and these dudes don't approve my posts. They just don't approve my fucking posts on Facebook. I'm talking about.
Fine.
I'm trying. I'm gonna get more. I've been getting more. I got a couple more.
Once a week. And you don't have to do the Star Wars podcasters, and you don't have to do that one. No one listens.
No, there's 800 people on there on podcasts and podcasters.
Yeah, you can skip that one.
All right. And the other one got turned off. It was like podcast something.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Nah.
All right.
Yeah. Nah.
All right. So before we go, we have some emails. But before I do the emails, let's just since we're talking about social media, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at Pop Culture Hour. DMs are open. DM me anytime. I will respond. And then you can find the links on Twitter as well to iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, etc. You can find us on Google Play. Just again, look for the one with the catchy logo, not the generic logo, and that's the right one. You can write in to the podcast like these two amazing people that just did at Gmail, the Pop Culture Hour at Gmail. Again, that's the Pop Culture Hour at Gmail, and Instagram for the same thing. Cute little pictures here and there, and links to the YouTube or to the show on Instagram, and that's at Pop Culture Hour on Instagram. And please check out the YouTube channel. Bill Beck does an amazing job with the visual jokes and just the visuals that go along with what we're talking about. I highly recommend that would be the way you listen because you just get more for your money. You see us, hear us, and Bill Beck's amazing producing, and which is just next level stuff. So hopefully that'll take off soon. Kind of need you to do that, Mike. Let's go there, buddy. Got to get it out there.
I am. God damn it. Fuck.
Hey, God has nothing to do with you being lazy on social media. Leave the man or woman alone.
Listen, I post more good shit on our channel than anybody, in our group than anybody.
All right.
God
I mean,
damn it.
Johnny, to be fair, you have the Twitter feed locked so people can't retweet it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help with the advertising.
Exactly. He doesn't even know what's happening. Look at him.
I'm checking now.
Look at that fucking goatee thing. Get rid of that. That thing's fucking... What is that thing?
What is that thing? All right.
I don't like it. Get rid of it,
What are you talking
please.
about? What are you talking about?
Nothing.
He wants you to shave.
Shut up. Shh. Sorry. I would never say that. Shut up to you. I would never say shut up to you. I love you so much. No, just. I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna repost. I'm gonna talk to Bill and I'm gonna repost this episode 100 times. So you leave me alone in 2 weeks.
This is what I need you to do. I need you to get.
Stop it.
This is
Stop
great
it.
podcasting right now. We should definitely have this conversation on air.
Stop the shit. God damn it.
Listen, if you're only going to come on once every 2 months, just make sure you do the social media part.
That's not what I'm going to do. I was in Arizona last week.
John, don't you have some emails to read?
Yes.
I don't understand. I was in Arizona last week. He's still giving me shit after 5 years. Fuck. 5
years and 18 episodes.
18? Oh, fuck you. God damn it. 18,
All right.
my ass.
All right. So this is from Ian. Love Ian. Good evening, Pop Culture Hour. This email is for Johnny. It could also be for Emily and Mike if you feel the same way about it. I gotta know why you hate on Rebels. I know this is a sensitive subject with you, so if you don't answer, that's understandable. I guess what I like about it is, first, its music is amazing. The art is very well done and it's beautiful. The story seemed to me to be more cohesive, and then there's less filler content. I can see why people compare Rebels to the Clone Wars, but in my opinion, they're apples to oranges. Both are fruit, sweet, delicious, but very different kinds of fruit. What are your thoughts? May the force be with you. All right, Ian. Sit down. This is going to be a while. Okay, so I enjoyed season 1 of Rebels for the most part, right? I don't know how many episodes there were. Let's just take a round number and say there was 10 episodes. I loved the first 2, and I loved the last 2. And then in the middle, because remember they had like that mid-season break? The middle, there was like a good episode too. And there was a couple like bad episodes, all right? And I was like okay with it, all right? Then season 2 happened. The first episode, probably the first 2 episodes were good. And then again, just using 10 as the number. And then episodes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sucked in my eyes. And then 9, 10, it ended pretty good, right? And if I didn't do a pure Star Wars podcast where I felt the need, like I was getting paid for it, which I wasn't, to cover Rebels like a reporter, I would have stopped watching there. They would have lost me. But I pushed myself through it. And then season 3 was the same thing, in my opinion. You know, they always start off with a bang and they end with a bang. And the middle was just terrible. And then I think season 3 was the worst one. And then season 4 got a little better. And then I don't even remember if there was a season 5. So I guess with me, Ian, it's more personal in the sense that I forced myself to watch something I didn't want to watch. And that made me hate it more because like I felt like I was getting a check in the mail, you know, for watching Rebels and talking about it on Rogue One Weekly, you know, which I wasn't. And looking back, I think I was so stupid. Like if I didn't want to watch Rebels, I shouldn't have watched Rebels. And I had 2 amazing hosts, well, 1.5, that could have talked about Rebels just as much. He's getting upset. right? That could have talked about Rebels just as much, and but I still forced myself to watch it, and that really, it was more of my own issues. And then what I always say, and I was actually talking to Fernando about this last night, because Fernando loves Rebels. I judge it against itself. So if you have the ability to make a good Rebels episode, the first 2 of each season, and the last 1 or 2 of each season, then they should all be pretty good. So like where you don't see filler in, like I kind of see filler, and like some of them were really bad. And then I really started to loathe a lot of characters. Like Ezra really got on my nerves, and the I forget his name, the Chewbacca ripoff guy. Zeb really hated Zeb. And that's really it. So, Emily?
I've only seen like 6 episodes of Rebels, because what I did is when I realized I didn't like Rebels, I stopped watching it. But no, mostly it was it just wasn't my thing. I didn't like the characters. Specifically, I didn't like Ezra, and since he was the main dude, I just found him too annoying to take. And I get that the show is not like aimed at me, but there's plenty of kids cartoons that I love. That is not one of them. I need at least one character to really like connect to and drag me in, to be like my viewpoint into the show. And that was never going to be Ezra, as much as the show wanted it to be. I thought it was annoying as fuck.
How about you, Mikey?
I have my episodes. I have a love-hate relationship with Rebels. Can I give spoilers? Yeah, right. Like everyone's seen that shit, right? When Ezra goes to Morban, or they changed the name, Korriban Morban, and meets Maul, it really flipped the switch for me. But before that, I hated it. But once that whole arc went down, I was in love with it. And then season 3 started, I believe, and there was a ton of filler, like Filoni filler shit, like fucking space whales and the cameos were cool, but he put the cameos in fillers, like Lando's cameo was in a filler, and Leia's cameo was kind of in a filler, and fucking Zeb's meeting his home planet was a filler shit, and the space whales, and I mean, I probably said space whales twice because I hate them. But like the episodes that mattered, I love. I will just watch those. I won't rewatch any of the other episodes that weren't a climactic staple point in the Star Wars timeline. All the Maul shit I loved. The Ahsoka and Maul shit I fucking loved. Sabine on Mandalore was cool, but like I'm talking 20%. So you got 4 seasons. I like 20% of it. Is that a good show? Do I like the 20% I watched? Fuck yeah. Does it matter to me? Yeah. But is that a good show? I don't know. But that's my demographic, though. It's for kids.
Yeah, I learned my lesson.
It's for kids, Johnny.
Emily's smarter than me. Yeah, but I liked a lot of kid shows. So I don't want to say I didn't like it because it was for kids. I didn't like it because I didn't like it. So like Emily was smarter than me. She was like, this isn't for me, and stopped watching. Like I told you why I kept watching. But then I learned my lesson with what was the next cartoon one called with Kaz?
Resistance.
So I watched the first 2 episodes of that and I said, not for me, and felt great about not fucking watching it.
But later on, and I didn't watch it either, but later on I heard that we get some backstory with Kylo and Phasma that I don't even know about because I didn't watch it. That's meaningful. And I didn't know about that shit.
I don't know how meaningful it is. I enjoyed those parts of it, but I don't think you're like missing out on not seeing that.
Well, fill me in. Were they dating? Like
No, it's not like it's not really any like particularly strong backstory or anything. You just like see them. Like they're there doing shit, but it's not like any like huge revelations are going on there.
People tell me I miss shit. I don't know.
All right.
Well, there was this one cool thing, like when it starts to converge with the movie, there's an episode where you're seeing Hux's big speech, and then you're seeing people like stormtroopers like on this station who are watching this speech like through hologram, and that's really cool. And then because Kaz is from the Hosnian system, like you're watching him as those events happen. And it's like one of the really good dramatic moments on the show.
That's dope. Subculture dope. Like for the ones who watch the animation, you know, similar to the 4-hour cut that I was just watching.
Yeah.
All right. So the next and last email for today to wrap up the show is from my friend Rich Jafarjian. He says, "Hello, Pop Culture Hour gang. Would you agree or disagree that the best Transformers movie to date is yet still the 1986 animated movie?" I would. Well, we'll go to Mike first. The best Transformers movie.
Yes.
By far. I agree with you.
Yes.
By far. The Bumblebee was good, but it was just Bumblebee. By far. Even losing Optimus Prime after 15 minutes, it's still the best Transformers movie.
Do you know
Emily,
why?
Did you ever... Okay, why?
Because Optimus fought against the Decepticons for millions of years on that dying planet. And there's so many battles that we have yet to been shown. And like he can't... They refugeed. They refugeed here, they fought as much as they could. And evil won, but the Autobots redeemed him at the end. It's brilliant, and it needs to be done in the right way, and it hasn't been done. It hasn't been done in the right way yet, but it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, hopefully someone will save the Transformers movies and make them what they can be. Emily, did you ever see the 1986 movie?
The only Transformers movie I have seen is the first Michael Bay Transformers movie.
Well, that's the best Michael Bay movie.
Well, that is worrying because that movie is shit.
No, she needs to see the 86. Well, no, you need to see the first season of Transformers and watch and understand the culture of the.
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
He's all upset with me.
She can watch she doesn't have to watch the first season. But like Emily, like that 1986 Transformers movie is pretty good. It's cheesy as shit, but it's good. You know, I think I want to watch it again soon.
I mean, we had a Van Halen soundtrack for a kids movie in '86. Is like having I don't know.
Oh, Stan Bush.
It's Stan Bush. My bad.
You got the touch. You got the power.
Yeah.
Rich Jafarjian continues. P.S. Darth Pizza. The Dolphins are coming. P.S.S. Johnny, I'm a little jealous. My name also has 6 syllables of sin. Oh, so that's a Leonardo DiCaprio callback. Richard Jafarjian. Yep. Yeah, 6 and 6. I don't know, Rich. I love you. And you were handsome back in the day, but comparing yourself to Leo, I don't know. That's tough. That's a tall order there. It's a tall order. Leo's my man. All right, I think we are basically done. So we usually recommend things to watch.
I do.
Usually.
I have one.
It's the third episode. We did it the first episode. Forgot the second. So I already kind of talked about House of Cards, you know. So go ahead, Mike.
I'm watching The Woods on Netflix. It's not in English, but the dubbed version of it on Netflix, you can select dub. English dub 5.1 is fantastic. It's called The Woods, and it's about a group of campers in Switzerland, I believe, that go to camp, and some murders happen during camp, similar to, Friday the 13th type shit, but it's not a horror show. And it fast forwards to 2019, and one of the survivors is now a prosecutor who's forgotten all about it and blocked it out. And then a detective comes and shows up and wants to question him about the murders. It's called The Woods. It's on Netflix. It just came out. It's one season. It's awesome.
I also have a Netflix recommendation, and that is a Belgian TV show called Into the Night. It's 6 episodes, and the premise is something has happened and the sun is now killing people. And like not just people, but like all life. And we are following these people who are on a plane at night when this started happening, and we're following them as they try to basically avoid sunrise, but have to do things like stop to refuel and to get food. And you're following, I think it's like you're mainly following like 6 to 8 characters, and you slowly learn their different backstories. The show is, I don't even know if it's good, but it's bananas. Like this, like it just gets more and more intense, and the character backstories get more and more crazy, and it's a wild ride. And I really hope it comes back for a second season.
All right, cool. I will check it out. All right. Perfect. All right. So that's about it. So, Emily, on social media, where can we find you? What other amazing podcasts do you do?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at EFLind, and I do 2 other podcasts. I do a Star Wars podcast called The Canto Bight Dispatch with my good friend Brittany Brown, and I also do a podcast called The Fan and the Furious with my friend Steve. We've been going through the Fast and the Furious franchise. We are now officially out of Fast and the Furious stuff to watch, so we're going to be going through all of Vin Diesel's movies.
Oh my God.
Triple X.
Iron Giant counts.
Yeah, well, we're I guess what I think it is we're going to do the movies that are like Vin Diesel movies, not just movies Vin Diesel has been in. So we're probably not going to do The Iron Giant. We're probably not going to do Saving Private Ryan, but we will do Triple X and The Last Witch Hunter.
Pitch
and
Black.
Babylon something.
Babylon AD?
Oh, so good.
Pitch Black, right?
Yeah, we're going to do the Riddick movies and like the terrible kid family movie he did called The Pacifier, where he's like a babysitter.
So I have a guilty pleasure. I own all the Riddick films.
I've actually never seen one.
Oh, I love it. I have Chronicles of Riddick, Pitch Black, and Riddick. I have all 3. I love them. I can't wait for you to harass me how much they suck when you watch them.
Me or Emily?
Both of you.
I haven't seen either one of them. I heard Pitch Black was good. I gave it I turned it on for 10-20 minutes and I was like, I'm out. I couldn't get into it.
It's like Vin Diesel comic book shit.
And I love Cole Hauser's in it. I love him. And I still couldn't watch it.
I just like that it's a connected universe, and he's like this. It's hard to explain right now without going on a rant, and Johnny gets upset with me.
Well, don't ruin it.
Yeah. Watch it, Emily, and then let me know what you think.
Yeah. We'll let Emily fill us in, because since I haven't seen it either. All right, cool. All right, well that is about it. That wraps up the Pop Culture Hour. And we will see you on YouTube. We will see you in a week and a half or so. And thank you for coming. I see Jackson. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Till the next one.